Hello, friends. I hope you're all friends.
Yeah.
We think of you as friends.
You know what? If some of you aren't, that's fine. We'll convert you.
We're having very interesting conversations on this lovely night.
Yeah. And this episode is just me and Alyssa, and we're gonna kind of debrief some current events, some of life updates for us.
Yeah. Just grab some wine.
Yes.
Grab some popcorn. We have some funny shit we're going to talk about. Oh, we definitely want to talk about the Meghan Markle interview.
Meghan Markle interview, an exciting update for our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Stay tuned. We kind of have like a fun little tidbit for everyone to get really excited about. A little.
Yes.
Yeah, just an SOS.
Milestone.
Milestone. If you will. Ooh, yeah. Like that. Milestone.
Yes.
Oh my God. Where should we start, Molly?
Well, I think because of our conversation before we hit record, these days, compared to last year, and I think this is a good thing. A lot of people, and people are just more politically informed, more politically involved, and whether that's in actual politics or just informed about social issues. And however, it's a double-edged sword because then everybody feels the need to instantly form a fully developed opinion and parade it around as fact. And we all can get on our high horse because we all have strong beliefs, especially I literally will fight to the death if we're going to fight about racism. I will die on that hill. But then there's
just human rights. It's like, what the fuck?
Right. Exactly. I will murder for human rights. Is that a oxymoron? But also it's like people.
It's a great shirt. We'll murder for human rights.
When we start our merch,
yes,
that's it.
Murder for hire.
Murder for hire.
Murder for hire for human rights.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So the issue kind of is, as people start to speak out on their beliefs more, you just find the trolls really come out to play. The internet trolls. And I mean, Alyssa, you have a little personal experience that we are in the middle of right now.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to name names, but of course this
But
has
also
to
if you did, it wouldn't matter because neither of us know who this person is.
Also, this is my fucking podcast and I have a voice, and if I'm going to fucking use it, it's to call out hypocrisies in the world. And if you have an issue with me calling out ignorant hypocrisies in the world, then that's on you and not me. Mm-hmm. And I just find it interesting because I got a little DM'd this lovely night from someone I don't know. I know this person from fucking 6 years ago. We did a commercial together, but we don't talk. We're just social media. We like each other's posts. That is the extent of our friendship, or whatever you want to call it. I don't remember unfollowing her. She had some interesting views that didn't align with mine. I'm not saying it has anything to do with human rights. I won't go into what it is, but it's just not something that I agree with, but I would never comment or tell her she's wrong. She could fucking write whatever she wants to write or believe whatever she wants to believe. It has nothing to do with me.
Instagram.
Yeah, I got this wild message from her. I don't even know how much detail I should give. It makes zero sense. It's basically how dare you, she doesn't say what this is referring to. I don't know what it is. It's basically and I bet during this podcast she'll update, and I will update you SOSers are into this. And maybe she's listening to right now. Maybe she listens to this podcast, and this is my message to you. This is my voice. If you don't like it, unfollow me. That's what you do when you don't agree and you don't want that energy in your life. You unfollow. Keep it to yourself. This is a you problem.
Basically, she sent Alyssa, tried to send her a link, a photo, and said, there's a comment that you left on this photo. But the photo,
and we agreed on things then.
We can't view the photo. We can't see what she's talking about. So she just kind of rants with a number of typos, she's really angry and she's typing. And it literally is just from one woman to another, you tear other women down and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, she's how dare you unfollow or even laugh or belittle at women who evolve and have different views from you.
Right. And that's literally the gist of it.
When have I ever done that?
what are you talking about? Like, in what are you talking about? And so this kind of got us to talking about just the energy that it takes if you're going to come at someone online for something. I don't even know if it's about something you posted. We literally don't know what she's talking about. So we're waiting for the update on that.
This is the thing. I'm not a radical person. I do not have radical views. I post about being pro-life. I talk about the BLM movement. I talk about wanting basic human rights for people.
Pro-choice.
Being pro-choice. Yes. Did I say that? Did I not say that already?
You said pro-life.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God. No,
just a little distinction. I just wanted to be clear.
I'm sorry. It's not been a long night, but it has been a long night.
Like conceptually, it's more just about like when we all battle with this, like when to engage and actually have a discussion, when it can be productive and when it's worth your energy to defend either yourself or your opinions, or to just have a discussion and be open to having your mind being changed. Or when you're just like, okay, this person is clearly just trying to come at me, not trying to discuss or learn from each other. And you have no respect for them. And then it becomes an entirely negative experience for you and to engage. And then it's an energy suck. And then you come away fired up and emotionally drained and angry, and your heart rate is up and you're trying to go to sleep at the end of the night. And this is all damaging to you. And so where's the line for, like for me, I feel like if it's a close family member, a close friend, someone in your life where there's value in that relationship, those discussions are worth engaging in. And I even think it's worth engaging with strangers sometimes when you get the sense that you can disagree and have moments where it's like, interesting. Okay, but what about, I actually think, and if it can be this kind of like more intellectual discussion, that can be worth it too, because either both, hopefully, but like your mind could actually be opened and changed, or theirs could, and you both have a certain level of decorum and respect for one another. Yeah. When it's straight up, when it's a stranger or someone you met once at an audition, and B, someone who's just coming at you for like no reason, it really is you have to set that boundary for yourself and make that choice, because it will kill your energy.
100%.
And I feel like there's a lot more people are, now that life is especially virtual, people were more bold online, like safe behind the internet. Now everybody's like growing. I don't even like to say grow balls, because they're very sensitive and weak, but you know what I mean? Like everyone's growing some balls and just like, oh, I can say whatever. Everyone feels entitled because they feel more politically informed, even if it's just surface level. And, the crazies are kind of coming out.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if there's been what the moon is this week, but like
new moon in Pisces.
Well,
tomorrow or tonight.
Well, that makes sense, because it's a very sensitive time and people are in their feelings. But like, I've had things happen to me, and we can go into that this week, that are just huge head scratchers. And this is just the cherry on top of just like, what? Why me? Why me? Why am I your punching bag? Like, this clearly has nothing to do with me and whatever insecurities you have with yourself. And like, I don't know what it is. My views are not radical. We live in Los Angeles. Like, I'm also not your friend. Stop putting your shit on me.
It doesn't matter if your views were radical. It's
true.
Whatever she's mad about.
True.
It's your Instagram, your podcast. I don't know what she's referencing, so I'm just going to cover all the bases.
Maybe we'll find out this podcast, so stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay, Alyssa, so you have an update that you were just...
Yeah, I was debating on whether or not to talk about this, but I didn't sign anything, so fuck it.
Yeah.
This is your story now, fans, listeners, watchers, viewers. So I'm an actor, and been auditioning, and I've been auditioning for this movie that I won't say what the name of it is, because to be honest, I don't know what it is, but exactly. It had a generic name, and I kind of knew, I was like, oh, this is definitely a generic name. So maybe they just, it's a placeholder. They'll name it something else later. And the character's fun, but it's like, I don't know if I should describe what the kind of movie is. Yeah, I can, right?
You can, but I don't even think it matters for the story, because it's like just a bizarre.
True.
Kind of. But you can. You have no rules.
I'll see. Let's see if I can. I'm going to tell the story without, and I'll see if it's needed. But anyway, I've been auditioning. They've had me call back for a couple times, and I call back again. I did a second round of callbacks a couple days ago for it, and I had a good feeling about it because they were very complimentary. Like they were very like, oh my God, thank you. Like they're like laughing and like they were into me, and I was like, fun. And you know, it's like it's not a big budget movie by any means. I wouldn't know what the rate is, but like, you know, which is fine. I don't care. It's a fun project to do and whatever. Anyway, so during this callback, I'm doing this one scene with a few different people. So they're having me stay and read with other people since like it's a chemistry read, and they keep having me stay. So I'm like, oh, this is a good sign. But during this audition, I'm seeing those like, you know, they're taping the audition normally on a tripod, but there's a second like camera crew kind of on a handheld, kind of videotaping me during just following me. And I'm like, that's interesting. And maybe they're just getting a different angle. They're being like artsy and they want a different angle of all these auditions. And as I'm waiting for them to send in another guy, I noticed that the film crew that was filming us during the audition is also filming the producers, like write notes and stuff. And I'm like, is this a I'm like, oh, maybe they're documenting this experience. And then right as I'm having that thought, one of the producers like, Alyssa, while we get our next actor in for you to read with, can you, we're just going to ask you like how your process has been auditioning this, like for the camera, if they're, you know, we're just going to like interview you a little bit.
About how this experience has been for you so far?
Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Just weird.
This is different. So then
also I will say, so because probably people listening, like I don't know anything about acting. I've never auditioned. And I was like, in my head, I was like, but even if they're doing that much, shouldn't they have had you sign
a little
permission, sign something to say that they can film you and ask you these questions because you haven't signed on to anything yet. And you said, yes, they should have.
Right. Very good. Very good point, Molly.
Yes.
So I am just like, and they asked me how my experiences. I give them a little like, oh, it's been great. You know, it's fun. This is fun. I don't know, like,
So, and you did say that you're not like creeped out by them. They're all very nice. They're not giving you creepy vibes.
Got no
that's
creepy
important
vibes.
to say.
That's yes, thank you. No creepy vibes from anything. Like it's been professional up and I guess. I don't know. Is it not professional? I don't know.
We don't know.
You're gonna scratch your head after this. And okay. So right after I get done, it's like a couple minutes of me answering their questions about how the process has been. The producers are like, Alyssa, come over here. I'm like, okay. They're like, well, we just have to tell you the reason why we're asking you these questions and why we're having you read with these many guys is that you booked it. And I'm like literally like I remember my hands are crossed because they're just like had me over. I'm like, hey. So go on YouTube right now if you're not already, SOS with Molly and Alyssa, so you can actually see my reactions. I'll do an impression of myself. So tell me that I booked it, Molly.
Alyssa, I don't know if you're wondering, you booked it.
Oh, great. That's so awesome. Thank you. So if you're listening, I'm just smiling and nodding like a normal person, like, oh, great. That's exciting. The camera crew that I mentioned before are videotaping my reaction to getting this.
What?
They're videotaping my reaction. So I'm seeing this in the corner of my eye. Yeah. And I'm like, yay. And they're just, and I can see them with like through their masks. They're just like, and you know what? There's a lot of secrecy with this project. Now, what you think this is titled is actually not the title of our project. We can't tell you. And the scripts that you've gotten are not the actual scripts. They're based off your character, but they're not the actual scripts. And you'll understand soon why we have to be very secretive, but this is really exciting. And you should be very excited about what this project is.
What? And but how can I, ma'am, when I don't know what it is?
I'm like, okay. And then I was like, all right, So when are the shoot dates? Oh, we'll get back to you really soon.
Right, which also is another bizarre thing. You cannot book somebody and have them locked in if they have not confirmed that they are available for said dates. So how in the hell are you supposed to be like, you booked it? We can't tell you what the movie is or what it's about or what the lines actually are or what your character is or when it shoots, but you booked it.
And I haven't signed a damn thing, so they can't come for me for telling this. I have a theory, and it might be, and I'm going to talk about my theory because A, I didn't sign anything, and B, I didn't sign anything. So one of the notes they had given me in one of the scenes was, and I won't say, one of the scenes was basically to prank somebody. Was like, play this scene as if you're pranking this person. I won't be more specific than that. So I did. So I'm wondering if this is a prank show, maybe.
Right.
With
and then I'm like, are they pranking? Like, why are they filming your reactions to things? So then it's like, are they pranking you or are you in on it? And if, I mean, and then I'm like, okay, if that is part of the show and they're filming your reaction as you're auditioning, they will have to get your permission to use that. So
Absolutely.
What is happening?
What is happening? It's also like,
anyway,
how can you book someone without getting their dates? So they're like, I need to know the shoot dates. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I literally could have like a weekend getaway.
Or anything.
So basically, guys, we don't have the answers yet. So if you're waiting for the punchline of this, we don't have it.
No, the punchline is, what the fuck is wrong with people? This is the punchline. Like, especially after that DM, like, why do you have to fuck with me? Like, now I'm just scratching my head waiting for this lovely lady to respond back to me on how I triggered her so badly with my views on whatever the fuck, on human rights, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
honestly, if she's watching, I don't.
Peace and love. That's what I have to say if she's watching. Peace and love.
I was going to just say, I don't really care. I don't care. I don't care what you're mad about.
Peace and love,
care.
I could give a fuck. From one woman to another. Right. And also, like, why are you being so weird? This is to the camera crew and the producers of this show. Why are you being weird? Why can't this be normal? Why can't you just tell me I booked it? Oh, that's another fucking thing. You knew you already booked me, but you had me schlep to your fucking audition just to tell me, because you wanted my reaction for your your documentary. You just wanted my reaction to me being booked instead of going through the proper channels, which is through my agent.
I wonder if you're going to be on some like massive Netflix movie or like something that blows the fuck up.
But like, if it was, then they would have more professional protocols, right?
No, I for sure, because that was what we were also like trying to brainstorm, and I was like, well, if it was some like big legit thing. If it was some like big, huge, legit thing, they would have had you sign certain things. But I'm also just like, it's weird to me that they said, that it's obviously it's very secretive. But the fact that they said, you will understand why.
Yeah, you'll understand. Tell you.
It's very cryptic.
Which a prank show is the only thing I can think of.
I know.
I won't get more specific about the genre, but like basically like, I don't know why they would give me that. But also, why would you give a note to an actor being like, play like this, you're pranking somebody? If it was truly a pranking, it's a movie too. It's not even a show. But if it was like a prank movie, like a Jackass or a Dirty Grandpa, whatever that one movie is called, like, wouldn't you just want it to be natural? Why would you give the note like, oh, act like you're pranking? Wouldn't you just be like, do this naturally because that's how you prank?
Because it's a prank.
I am, but that's the only thing. Like, oh, you'd get it why it's secret and like why this has to be. That's the only thing I can think of, other than like this is a Marvel movie, which I 100% judging by the way we're conducting things right now, and I'm talking shit, and maybe this is going to be good, and I don't want to like maybe these are my future co-workers, and they're not going to listen to this. And I'm not a big actor, so
you did say that you liked them. It's not about just the whole issue of it is weird. It's not like you got, because I do believe, like you never mentioned to me in the story, if you got real like creepy, sketchy, weird vibes from that, you wouldn't be down. So it was like, that's another weird layer to it though. It's like, why is it all so cryptic and weird? But you seem like you also researched their production company. Like they're not randos. They're not just some like homemade. So that's also strange because it's like, I don't feel like you guys are I don't know. We'll update you guys when we find out, and we will also update you on hopefully the non-existent conversation with this troll, because I vote that you just don't engage. Actually, Alyssa, she said she told me earlier that one of the funniest responses to like someone comes at you hard and like paragraphs on Instagram, and if you just respond LOL.
I've done it before.
It's hilarious.
So now I don't want to come off like, I need to know that I swear I'm a good person. I don't yell at people for their views. Like, that's not true.
No, it is.
Guess I have come for people. But this is the thing, like, I don't know. I hope the listeners out there know that, like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck to say. Like,
no, it doesn't matter, because she doesn't know you.
Like, you know, I get having these feelings that this is like a friend of yours that are posting things that are really not aligned with your views, and I guess like are, I don't want to say triggering, but triggering you. Which I have friends and family that do, right? Mm-hmm. And like the advice I give to those people is pick and choose your fucking battles. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. This is one of those things. This is one of those moments, SOSers. Like, this is one of those, you write in your drafts and you delete, you write in your diary and you move on with your life. Like, please do not put that energy onto somebody, because it has nothing to do with them. And it has only it has to do with you. Even when I come for people, like, you know, like I've come for trolls before, like trolls, you know what I'm saying? Like actual trolls, not a human being that like is like, hey, I think people should not be shot by cops. You know what I mean? Like actual fucking trolls that are like, I don't know, random trolls that I've kind of come for. But like, what am I trying to say? It's not warranted. You know what I mean?
No, it's literally a waste of energy.
It's such a waste of energy. And like, it has nothing to do with that person. That's what I was trying to make. Like, even when I'm coming for, like, it has more to do with like shit I'm going through than the person that I'm like lashing out at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that like
seek therapy, seek marijuana.
And I do think that like there's a practice in, if someone does, like she just did, you know, dump it all out there and didn't control, just isn't seeking those other things and just feels a need to put it. It's also our responsibility to consciously decide if we are going to receive that energy that was thrown at us, because we don't have to. You can read it and then be like, you know what, like that was a whole discussion of like, do I engage or not? And sometimes it's worth it. Of course, like we do need to make change in the world. And that means stating what we believe and fighting for our beliefs. And I'm the first one to do that and support that. But then there are times where it's like this unwarranted, like just random ass negative energy that's thrown at you. Like you can reject it, because if you, even right now, like, I mean, that's part of it is like talking about it and processing it. But like it's affecting you.
This is our podcast. We can fucking talk whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And this just happened, to be fair.
Yeah, it happened right before we got on here. But I do want to switch gears because I have positive news.
Yes.
So guys, our Alyssa and my goal for
should we save this for the end? Should we go into the Meghan Markle?
Sure.
I think we should save it for the end, only because I want y'all to stay to the end.
Okay, fair. All right.
Earn it, SOSers.
Meghan Markle interview. I've had a crazy busy week and I have not watched I know you didn't watch the full thing either.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, it's hard.
Yeah, I know you've actually seen more of it than me, but the pieces that I saw were in regards to the royal family having huge concerns that they came to Harry with about how dark their baby would be. And
that was
we are living in the dark. And the thing is, I mean, I watched The Crown because I just got sucked into it, and I was like, oh my God, this is not out of, and I will, for me personally, I've never had like an obsession or an idolization of like the royal family. It's historically extremely interesting to me because of how much of the world, I mean, the reason Europe conquered everything, it's like, it's so historically important, and learning about the family and the messed up like interpersonal relationships and the requirements and seeing, and that was obviously fictionalized, but it was based on reality. But I say that because I watched that recently, and then now hearing this about the interview and her experience with the royal family and how there's like so many archaic things that are still in that tradition that's just like literally like disgusting. Like there was I also watched a documentary on Netflix that came out that was in her own words, is about Princess Diana. Yeah, and it was all in her own words because
I want to see that.
Oh my God, you should watch it because there was a guy who followed her. She was writing a book and she wanted someone to follow her. So it's actually her speaking. It's not even like a documentary on Diana. And there was a reporter. They took a clip from a reporter in the 90s when they were talking about the press Diana was getting at the time. And he said, you know, it was when her and Charles' marital problems were being blasted everywhere and everyone was knowing that they were unhappy. And this reporter was like, you know, in Western society, in the modern world, we're now in the 90s, people marry for love now in the normal Westerns. And he's like, but the royal family has not caught up to that. And they're still stuck in like tradition and basically arranged marriages. And that is why, you know, that's why you hear of these scandals and these intermarital affairs in the royal family, because people are forced into the marriages that they fall into. And it was literally in the 90s and him being like, I don't know if you guys are where you guys have been, but we marry for love now. And it was just like, wow. And so that was back, it was like Diana's struggle. And so hearing that with Meghan about what was said about their child, like the concern about their baby being too dark, it was like simultaneously jaw-dropping and not shocking at all. And that is the weirdest combination to feel, where you're like, of course they said that. And then you're just like, in what world would someone say that?
It's so weird. And when it happened, it was kind of like, I have a sneaking suspicion that it wasn't super planned to say that, because Meghan was like, oh shit. She had like an oh shit reaction after seeing Oprah's reaction to it. And then when Harry came out, he was like, I don't want to talk about it. And you're like,
really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, because Oprah wanted to she was like, who fucking said that? You're like,
yeah, she did. I saw that, and then I saw
Archie's skin color. Like, yeah.
And then I saw Oprah say like, so they said this to you, and then Meghan said, well, they said it to Harry.
To Harry,
so it was like a private family conversation that someone said to Harry.
And then Harry, I believe, this was not on camera afterward, because Oprah was on Gail to talk about this interview she had. And then Oprah was like, so after the cameras wrapped, Harry wanted to clarify that it wasn't the Queen or his grandfather. So just by Harry being like, it definitely wasn't the Queen or the Queen's husband, his grandfather. Then who the fuck was it? I think Prince Charles. I think it was fucking his dad. I think it was his fucking dad, which is like, because Oprah was like, who said that? Like, can you say who it was? And Meghan goes, it would be very damaging for them. Like, who else it would be damaging for more than the fucking future king, who's like going to be a king in like 2 seconds because the Queen is 180 billion years old.
Yeah. And he's like 100 years old.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's not going to have it for very long.
It's like, what? And I think what's even fun to bring up here is that like conservatives are now coming out like, how dare Harry and Meghan come for the royal family? It's like, how dare they? Like, Prince Philip is in the hospital. Like, how dare they come for them? And she's such an attention whore and da-da-da-da. And it's like, wait. Conservatives are defending the monarchy right now. Libertarians are defending. This is where we're at right now. Like, we don't see the irony right now.
Yeah, but Alyssa, in what world have conservatives chosen a black woman over anything else?
Exactly. Like, white supremacy will continue to be their bread and butter. Like, who gives a shit about like the actual being a patriot when like white supremacy is at risk?
But that's why they relate to the royal family.
Exactly.
Which is also built on white supremacy.
And it's all talk like, we're a patriot, we're Americans. You don't give a fuck about that shit. All you care is white is right. That's all you care about.
And also the whole thing about so the British tabloids after this happened came at Meghan hard and Harry, but like, Meghan, and they came so hard for Meghan, the British tabloids, after this. And I was seeing some press American press that was like the like ferocity with which they came at Meghan for. Where was that when Andrew, who is a proven pedophile, had stuff come out?
Interesting stuff. We love priorities. It's like, how the fuck can you say or defend anything this monarchy has done when you have a pedophile living his life normally with zero investigations as simultaneously they are investigating? You heard that? Like, there's an investigation to Meghan Markle's bullying claims. And you know the bullying claims? Have you actually read them?
No.
She sent the staff emails at 6 a.m.
Who?
Meghan. Those are the claims.
The royal staff?
The royal staff, yeah. She sent them emails at 6 a.m. That's the complaint.
What?
Just about the day's schedule.
I'm over it because this is just like, it's more just white men running the world. Like, y'all are, your time's almost up. Like, enjoy it while you can, I guess, because I also have to say I have so much admiration for what Harry and Meghan are doing, because while obviously someone has abdicated the throne in the past, that's different from this, obviously, because Harry wasn't going to have the throne. But nobody, I could be wrong, but from my understanding and like what I've learned, nobody has like completely dissociated, given up all their titles and their rights to to anything just because they don't agree with how life is lived. And like, to me, it says that above all else, they are truly in love, because why else would Harry, after being raised in that situation, and it's his family, like, I don't care. We all know family trauma is the basis of everybody's issues. Whether you think your family is good people or not, you cannot completely disconnect your family. That's why. So I think that it indicates that they're very much in love. And I think that because of that, very few people, if any, in their family, in the royal family, can relate to that, because they've all been forced into misery and relationships that they had to learn to grow into or learn to love this person. And I don't get the feeling that people are really, and I will say that's like a second, Harry was privileged in that he didn't have the pressure of like him being the firstborn, and but still the amount of resolve, and like literally the whole world's talking about this, like it's simultaneously annoying to me that we're talking about it, but also it's relevant, and it's history, and this is like the oldest living monarch in the world. Like, it's very interesting.
And
it's
I think it's just like, oh no, sorry, go ahead.
No, I really think that it's amazing that they took that stance and are taking it so boldly, not just doing it. They're going to do it, and then they're going to come on Oprah. And and I do have to say, for people being like, oh, Meghan, she's just trying to get attention. I'm sorry. She is statistically one of the most attention grabbing women already in the world. She really was. She was like number 3 or 4 in the world, got the most attention and the most press already. So she didn't need to do this to get attention.
I think a favorite thing, have you been following the Piers Morgan thing? Do you know who Piers Morgan is, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my fucking God. So he's, for anyone listening, he's like a fucking British TV reporter, whatever, commentator. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's been for years coming for Meghan Markle. He's a fucking asshole. He has any opinion or anything that's ever happened in the world, he's had the worst reaction to it, like possible that you could have. Just textbook villain. He has been for years coming for Meghan, calling her trash, And recently, after he had said, because she had come out in the interview about having suicidal thoughts and asking the monarchy for help, and they were like, oh, "This is bad for press. We can't help you." And then
also,
like,
let me just say,
yeah,
which a lot of people know, but that's exactly what Diana did.
Exactly.
She was having suicidal thoughts. She asked the Queen for help. She asked for support. She asked all those around her for support, and no one cared and no one helped her.
And it's like, imagine like, oh, it's bad press if you help. Imagine the press if, God forbid, they did do something about the thoughts that they were having. Like, get fucking real. Anyway, he was calling them Meghan's suicidal thoughts like he was saying that they were lies, that he didn't believe them, that she was exaggerating. Like, okay, cool, great. Definitely die on that hill, bro.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I have to send you this clip. I recommend everyone looking this up on his show. I think it was called like Good Morning Britain. His coworker called him out completely. It was beautiful, just being like, you continue to trash her. And he had mentioned something, his coworker, that I didn't know. And like now that these videos of this interview are going viral, where Piers talks about how one night a few years ago, he went out with Meghan Markle. He implied that it was a date, that they went out like for drinks. And I don't know if it was a date or it was just like two friends going out for drinks. And he was like, we were getting along swimmingly. She had dirty martinis. It was great. I even sent her a cab home. And then he goes, but she didn't go home. She actually went to a party. And that was the night that she met Harry. And I never heard from her again. She ghosted me. And this is just, I mean, talk about full circle for this episode, guys. Like, this is just a prime example of someone who thinks another person owes them something.
That's the most pathetic thing to bring up.
It's just like, no one owes you anything. Okay? Like, no matter fucking what. Like, no one owes you anything of their energy. Like, boundaries are there for a reason. If you can't handle it and all you want to do is trash that person, come for that person, that's on you, boo. That has nothing to do with Meghan or anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Also, like, I'm sorry. I've gone on a date with a guy, left, and never said anything, and then met someone I like better. Where's the problem?
It's the entitlement. People feel so entitled to other people. It's out of control.
Particularly men feel very entitled to women.
Yes, but as we've learned from this episode, so do women. It's so funny.
I know.
Sometimes. Anyway, yeah, it's wild. And his coworker called out. He's like, she has every right to ghost you. She has every right not to. And like, you continue to trash her. And then as he's going on, Piers just fucking walks off set. And he's like, no, I can't handle this. No. You can trash me all you want on my show. I just won't be here for it. No. And walks out. And
he
the
said
coworker,
that?
yep. And the coworker like is just like, see, like we have to sit here every day and listen to him trash her and say these ridiculous things every day. Piers the next day quit the show. And it's the irony of like, you have come for Meghan for leaving an uncomfortable position. And what the fuck did you just do? You left an uncomfortable position, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I need a drink of wine. Like the hypocrisy, it's just like, well, it just writes runs itself.
So, but like, yeah, I know. It's not shocking, and yet it's equally as infuriating because it's not, we all know the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess there's a different, you can be not shocked at all and incredibly infuriated. And that's kind of what it comes down to for me, where it's like, oh my God, no way. The royal family had an issue with like a black person in the, no, I'm not surprised about that. But am I like furious about it? And do I want to punch someone in the jugular for it? Yeah. And also I just like I don't know. I love the fact that they did that. And having watched the documentary, in her own words about Diana, a lot of what she, like towards the end when she and Charles separated, someone was like, you know, what do you want? Like, if you're no longer, what was she, Duchess or something like that?
Yeah,
like you're no longer Duchess. And she was like, I want to be able to raise my kids and like prepare them for their roles. But more than anything, like I want to be left alone. I want to be with my kids and I want to make sure they feel loved. And there were a lot of things that they mentioned, or that obviously in her words, they're talking about her, Harry and like William. And you just get the sense that it's like she was so miserable and she wanted nothing more than for them to never have to go through that. And so after having watched that and then seeing what Harry's doing, I was like, I feel like she is just an angel on his shoulder. Like, yep. Do it, go, like do what I could not do. And just is like carrying the two of them, because after watching, I mean, it is heartbreaking to watch that. And I really recommend it for anyone who like cares about history or has like a vague idea of who Princess Diana was or who has watched The Crown or whatever. It's like, it's a beautiful documentary, and it makes this whole situation with Harry and Meghan like really powerful to me, because I do believe that our souls and spirits continue on in some other realm after we die. And I know that she is like the wind beneath their wings right now.
Did you hear the part in the, speaking of that, did you hear the part of what Archie says? Like the phrases he says most? This is Meghan and Harry's kid, who's like 2. He says, I forget the other thing that he says, but he says to both of them, drive safe.
What?
That's his most popular phrase that he says a lot, is drive safe.
I have complete
and it's like
chills right now.
And you can think of it in many ways. Like I thought, like, well, first of all, talk about a guardian angel, but like maybe more like, I guess logically, you can just think of like how, like, you can even imagine like how many times Harry must say that, to Meghan, to drive safe all the time. And it's like,
oh my God,
no fucking shit they left. Like, anyway. Yeah.
And I just really admire, because to me it speaks, the loudest thing that it says is that they love each other.
Yeah.
And, we can't know because we're not in that world. But I feel like that's a huge, huge statement, because that type of upheaval in a family, in the world, in like their own lives, putting themselves through that, you don't do that for anything other than, or one of you might do it because you're unhappy and you need out. But if you do it together as a unit, like they are, like you love each other.
Absolutely.
And I think that's beautiful. Yeah.
Well, let's give a little news to her.
Okay.
Well, we're not going to be specific on who, right?
Yeah. Okay. Maybe not. Well, I will just say that Alyssa and my goal for SOS this year, because we've been at it a year, we've had incredible guests, we've built ourselves to we're proud of where we've gotten ourselves. And now we're like, okay, how do we hit that next level? We want sponsors, obviously sponsorships. We want bigger guests who can also help us expand our own listeners and our own platform and just kind of level ourselves up. And, then there's the whole question of like, how? How do we do this? And, at first I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I kind of think we should just like because we have certain people on our list that we have dream guests, and we have some that are more accessible than others. Like, obviously I don't know how to email Michelle Obama right now, but some people that we can get to that we're like, okay, well, I would love these people on. And it's a shot in the dark.
We're like learning as we go. Like, and if you're listening to this and you wanted to start a podcast or you're just like, maybe you have one, but you want to get to this next level, like, I hope you can like learn from like what we're doing right now, because it literally is manifesting.
It is. And it's so fun.
And also what Molly did was, which you can go on.
I mean, this has been like a pattern of behavior for me in life in general, is I'm, for better or for worse, I'm like, there's always a chance. Why not? Why not? Like, I'm just going to shoot my shot, because if it's a no, I'm literally in the same position I'm in now.
Yes.
So I was telling Alyssa, I'm like, I'm going to just email people that we love and admire and want on the show. And we'll just see what happens. And you were like, yeah, for sure.
But but I'm also just like, I don't know,
I know you were like, I don't know. I feel like I need to get over the fact of thinking like we couldn't possibly get somebody like that. Yeah. And I was like, but we could. Like, why couldn't we? So this is where we like balance each other out too, because we need 100%. Each other in our lives.
Well, I need Molly. Get yourself a Molly, guys.
Get yourself an Alyssa, because I'd be bouncing off the freaking walls right now. And so I was like, I did it. And I sent it 4 emails out to dream guests. They actually all responded. 3 of them though were like, it was their assistant, and it was like, thank you so much for the heartfelt no. They're really busy right now, blah, blah, blah. I expected it. But honestly, my top choice and my favorite one responded and said, wow, because I filled them in on what SOS is, what we do, gave them all our info, because now we've been going for a year. It's like not something that you can really, like, we could have done it when we first started, but it's like you have nothing to go off of. Like, who are these people?
Yeah.
So anyway, gave them our breakdown, and they responded and were like, congrats on 1 year. We would love to be guests on the show. We're coordinating it with them next week. So you guys, I'm not going to ruin it, the surprise, but
we'll tell you when the time is right.
Yes.
But
and this is like so huge for us. This is a big milestone for us. This is, we've been manifesting it. This was a huge goal for us for this year. And hopefully we can just capitalize on the momentum from there. And they are inspiring. There are women, inspiring women that I cannot wait for you guys to listen. I can't wait for you to hear.
It's going to be so fun.
I can't wait to hear. Yeah, I'm just really excited about it.
I can't wait to hear it. We're just going to be there.
I can't wait to see what I do.
Hopefully we can form sentences during this episode, but
we'll see.
We'll see. But this is going to be really exciting. So stay tuned, guys.
And really like, if you guys have been following, listening to us this whole year, over a year, thank you so much. And our promise to you is to keep going and also to keep improving and keep elevating, because I listen to podcasts all the time, and it's kind of like I trust that they will do the same. Like the reason I keep listening is because they weren't getting guests like this before. Wow, now they're really, it's fun, and you feel like you're part of the ride. And like I remember when they first, it's fun as a listener. And so I hope that there are some of you who are finding this enjoyable, and we promise to keep working harder and harder to make it better and better to listen to.
Yeah. And also just, take this as a sign too, that like, if we can do it, y'all can do it too. We want to inspire people. Like, this is why we made SOS, was to inspire people who were like down in their luck and thought that like, how can I get myself out of this? Like, this is how, by just doing it, by just throwing, what did I say to you? Like they're
throwing noodles at the wall,
saying if it sticks.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's literally tiny chipping away, as opposed to like, whoa, how do I blow up this like massive rock? No, you just keep chipping at it, and it feels impossible. But if you just look at what's ahead of you today and you chip away, it gets somewhere. And I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait for you guys to hear. And also a goal of ours, the reason we want to keep elevating and get more ears on us and more eyes is because it's like we want to build a community.
Yes.
It's like we just want, because my favorite podcasts have a community that like taps in, that they're in communication with. There are Facebook groups for their listeners, and it's not as much about like, like being recognized or like, fans of Molly and Alyssa. It's like to look down one day and be like, there's a whole community of us, and we have inside jokes because the episodes have inside jokes, and we all like, we know, like there's recurring guests that we all know. It's kind of like a family. The way I feel as a listener, like I said, with my favorite podcast, is kind of what I want to create here, and Alyssa and I dream of. And so if you're along for the ride and you're still here, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, shout out Black Lives Matter. Go to blacklivesmatter.com. Donate.
Forever and ever. Amen.
Fucking Planned Parenthood. Fuck it up. Like, just shout out all of them.
Did you just say fuck it up? Planned Parenthood. Fuck it up.
Fuck it up. Follow us on YouTube, SOS with Molly and Alyssa, at the SOS Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Review us, rate us. It helps us reach all those people in the back, in the bleachers.
What also really helps, if there's an episode you guys really like, or there's like a funny clip or whatever, if you post something in your story of us, or just like a picture, one of our posts, something in your Instagram story, it really helps as well. So please help us out.
And we've been getting comments from listeners about our topics, and it's really great, so keep that coming. And we're gonna have some fun making more episodes for you, so just stay fucking tuned.
Stay tuned, and stay tuned for our merch that will say, what did it say? Will murder for human rights.
We'll murder for hire for human rights.
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. I'm Molly Cottrell.
I'm Alyssa Rosano.
And here's to turning meltdowns
into magic.